Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Let's try that again. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Jonathan Sellers. This is Bailey, Carrie, Shakira, and Paola. We're presenting our theme today of betrayal over Hamlet using the social network media, Facebook. So like I said, my name is Jonathan Sellers. This is for English 1302. Okay. So the way the work was divided was we split into 2 characters per person, so that way we could each know the characters. We studied each role and assigned characters and saw how they interacted, not only in the story, but also with other characters, especially with the emphasis on the theme betrayal. We chose betrayal because we're very familiar with it. Now, why do we tend to be very familiar with betrayal? Because it's something that we don't forget. It's something we remember. It's something that just really strikes a nerve in people. So after we assigned our characters, we were also assigned our own scenes. There was 5 of us. There's 5 acts. So then we looked at the acts as far as we focused on the themes of betrayal, and also the characters' focuses on betrayal within those acts. So that is how the work was divided. And now we're going to be going over the acts 1 through 5 and focuses on themes of betrayal.
In Act 1, Hamlet is betrayed because his father dies, and then shortly after his mother marries his father's brother. Hamlet is very vocal about this betrayal. He makes a long quote saying that, "Oh God, do I not have to remember this? She would hang on to him, and the more she was with him, the more she wanted to be with him. She couldn't get enough time, yet even so, within a month of my father's death, I don't want to talk about it. Oh, women, you are so weak." Even before she had broken the shoes she wore to his funeral, crying like crazy. Even an animal would have mourned its mate longer than she did. There she was, marrying my uncle, my father's brother, who's about as much as my father as I am like Hercules. Less than a month after my father's death, even before the tears on her cheeks had dried, she remarried. Oh, so quick to jump into a bed of incest. That's not good, and no good can come from it either. But my heart must break in silence, since I cannot mention my feelings aloud. He feels so betrayed by his mother that he called all women whores, and saying that they were weak and could not keep their legs closed, even before she broke in the shoes. So that's saying she didn't even wait long enough to mourn her husband. He referred to her as an animal, saying that she was worse than an animal, actually, because the animal would have mourned its mate longer than she did. He called her incest and said that his uncle was nothing like her father, so he did not see the point in it.
Yeah, so you'll see in between Acts 1 and after, during the play, where he goes up to Gertrude and still tells her, basically called her the whore again. So you'll see, not just in Act 1, but you'll see it throughout the slides on there. And on the betrayal part, some say that she could have done it as an act of betrayal, but some would say that she probably did it based on her for her country. I mean, she had to do it for the king. She had to support her country, so it could go both ways.
Hamlet is also betrayed in Act 1 when the ghost, actually it says King Hamlet, was betrayed when the ghost appears to his son and tells him that Claudius, his brother, had killed him. And so now Claudius is like totally taking his life. He's becoming the king, and he's stealing his wife and his family. So King Hamlet and his son both feel betrayed by this. This is talking about Ophelia and Prince Hamlet. They're in a complicated relationship. And Ophelia is telling Prince Hamlet that her father and your uncle believe you are going mad. Have you? They believe it is because of me, is it? And Polonius goes and agrees with her, saying it's love craziness.
Okay. So on Act 2, there's a little theme of betrayal where Polonius sends Reynaldo to spy on his son Laertes. Now, there's a little bit of thing of betrayal. Of course, we're all kind of used to our parents. Brown doesn't even to our business, even when we're out of their house or whatever. So we can all associate with that very clearly. So, and that's a quote of, "You shall do marvelous wisely, good Reynaldo, before you visit him. to make inquiry. There's also a theme of betrayal whenever Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, which is Hamlet's two former college buddies, go to see him. Of course, they go to see him because there is an incentive and motive, which is money, reputation, things like that. These two are pretty much the typical goons that you'll see in somewhat of a comedy. Now, one tends to be the leader and more the smarter one, but these two are just as equally as unintelligent. They just kind of follow the other, if you will. So on the Facebook posting, we essentially alliterated with, "Hey, my dear friend, we're in town here to visit you." And Hamlet responds, "So to be frank with you, my servants are. But tell me, my friends, what are you doing here in Elsinore? Did anyone tell you to visit me or not? Or was it just your whim? On your own initiative? Come on, tell me the truth. You may tell me exactly what you were sent for." And of course, Hamlet, being intelligent, he picks up on it right away. "You've got a guilty sound to your words that with which you are too honest to disguise. I know the king and queen sent for you." So that's a feeling of betrayal right there. Considering this was Hamlet's two friends in college, that would be sort of a theme of betrayal. Okay? And this is where they start unraveling and beginning the betrayal, in which by they say, "Both you and the king might have ordered us to execute your command instead of asking us so politely. But we'll obey. Our services are entirely at your command. I hope to God we can make him happy and do him some good."
Okay. So this is Act 3, Scene 1, and the King and Polonius decide to spy on Hamlet when he and Ophelia talk. And this is a form of betrayal because Ophelia and Hamlet are supposed to have this relationship, and Polonius and the king are betraying Hamlet by spying on him. And it said, "Let the doors be shut upon him, that he may play the fool nowhere but in his own house. Farewell." And this is Polonius on Facebook saying, "The king and I have a plan to understand why Prince Hamlet is acting the way he is. We will spy on the young man. He will never know. We will keep you updated." And then Guildenstern said, "Leave it to me and Rosencrantz, my good sir." And this is just another post about how Hamlet, whenever he was at the play, he kind of, in some way, or Polonius is saying that he betrayed his father by embarrassing him and stuff like that in the play because he got upset. And then this is about the player.
That's when they start about, that's when they're about to get him in the trap of trapping Claudius with the play. So that's what, this is where they put the actors in, and this is where he tells player one, you need to do this, you need to add some lines to it, make it genuine, don't add any like exaggerations.
Make it believe.
This is where he wants to do his main part, catch him in it, and he already knows about it. And that's just where he starts. This is where he has to invite Queen Gertrude and Claudius.
And then this is after the play whenever Gertrude is upset with Hamlet and she asks him to come to her room and they need to have a talk. And then
this is where Horatio is supposed to help Prince Hamlet out and let him know, hey, you need to pay attention to Claudius and see if he makes any reactions. And this is where he kind of gives him a wink wink, like, oh, did you see his face? Did you see how he acted? And this is where Ophelia enters in. She puts his reaction was obvious enough. And that's when Prince Hamlet says, that fool.
And then this is whenever he says his famous soliloquy, and the betrayal here is that actually King and Polonius were actually there spying on him whenever he's having this private moment to himself. And
Okay.
then,
Oh, go ahead.
no, you
This one's where Rosencrantz and Guildenstern were sent to their own deaths. So basically, whenever he sent them, it was supposed to be intended for Prince Hamlet. They're the ones that didn't even realize that they were the ones who were going to get sent to be executed pretty much in their own, lead. It says, Prince Hamlet told Gertrude, it's a done deal, those documents are ready, and the two classmates who I trust as much as rattlesnakes are in charge. They're the ones that will lead me on my march to death. So this one's just kind of like a personal message to her, saying that I already know what's going on. I already did what I had to do, and I'm still going to keep on with my path to revenge, basically. Okay, and Act 4, Scene 1, this is when Hamlet accidentally killed Polonius. This is when Polonius is behind the arras, when they were trying to spy. This is when he claimed that he believed it, well, Hamlet believed he was being a rat. His mother Gertrude lied to the king and told him that he thought it was a rat to protect Hamlet. Gertrude betrayed the king to simply save her son. And when Hamlet accidentally kills Polonius, Gertrude betrays the king to keep Hamlet safe. Hamlet telling Gertrude that he thought Polonius was a rat, Gertrude assured the king that it was really a rat, not Polonius. And see, throughout the book, you know that she loves her son, and she loves her king as well. And that's the quote from right there when he says, how now, a rat, dead for a ducat, dead. And you'll notice that throughout the book, in that part, he jokes around about, oh, well, I killed him, and it's like nothing to him. It's just a death, and it doesn't really faze him. And this is another one from Polonius's post, and he was feeling proud. I have been talking to the king and the queen. We both agreed taking Prince Hamlet to England. So this is the part where he wants to take, they both want to take him to England. That way they can just devise him to be kicked out and not have to worry about him. And they put, Polonius put, how dare he act that way and upset his father, uncle, and mother in such a way, which is what she referred to as. I shall try and put a stop to him being uncontrollable with his mother, and she wants to see him very soon. I will hide behind the tapestry and her. Okay. Oh, betrayal between Ophelia and Hamlet. This is the one where Ophelia posts. This is not where Hamlet posts. She put on there, I've given back all your tokens of love for me, and I was not happy to do what I did, but you were more than happy to tell me what you thought of me. And you referred to me as a whore. So there's a long part in that scene where it's like a page or two where he's basically just telling her, giving her shots of like the makeup scene, how she's just being foolish, and it looks like he's being harsh to her, but he's just being overprotective, just like a sister does for his brother, and they do it for each other. And this is where Polonius says, what did I tell you about that boy? And Ophelia says, I tried to obey you as best as I could. So in the book, people say they look like lovers. Some say they're not. It's just being overly protective, overly loving. And on modern day, we would think that you can be best friends and share more than what you're supposed to share. So that's just kind of how I portrayed it in this scene. This one's about the play. This is the one where Ophelia posts, I went to the play that was held because you put it together and you were trying to sit with me. All of a sudden you were terrorizing me with vulgar comments. So this adds to it, specifically about the play when they were acting out, the players were acting out. They told them to act out specific scenes. And Prince Hamlet says, I've heard all about you women and your cosmetics too. God gives you all one face, but you paint another on top of it. You dance and prance and lisp, you call God's creations by pet names, and you excuse your sex ploys by pleading ignorance. He says he won't stand it anymore, it's driving me crazy, and I declare you no more marriage. So this is where they talk about the nunnery. And that's where Ophelia dies.
In scene 5, it's all about, in the beginning, Ophelia's death and her funeral. Laertes comes back and he's getting ready to kill Claudius because he believes that he killed Polonius. And then he finds out that Ophelia killed herself thanks to Gertrude coming in and interrupting. And at this time, Claudius and Laertes are plotting Hamlet's death. They want to duel with him and poison the sword. And if that doesn't work, there is a cup of poison waiting for Hamlet, which in the end Gertrude ends up drinking, killing herself. So in this act, the first act of betrayal is between Claudius and Hamlet once again, including Laertes, who wants to kill Hamlet to avenge his father's death, and then again his sister's death. And then at the funeral, Laertes and Hamlet get into an argument about who loved Ophelia more and end up disrespecting her funeral as they were fighting in her grave. And this is the one where I was saying that they didn't tell Gertrude, Claudius didn't tell Gertrude about the poison because he didn't want her to know about Hamlet's death that he was plotting. So she ended up drinking the poison that was made for Hamlet.
And those are just betrayal conclusions. So betrayal begins in the play with Claudius betraying his king Hamlet by killing him and taking his fortune, his wife, his position. And then Gertrude betrays Hamlet by marrying Claudius right after his death. And I think there's a scene in the Act 1 where he says, and it's not even been a month or two, and then he goes on to say 3 months, 4 months. It's like it's so quick, but some people want to exaggerate the time frame. Hamlet views the relationships as incestuous because Claudius is Gertrude's brother. We know Rosencrantz and Guildenstern betray Hamlet by following Claudius's direction, spying on Hamlet. So best friends, you will do anything till the end, basically. Even modern day, you have a loyal friend, you will do anything for them and have their back. Just like betrayal, they went as far as to kill and with the poison and the sword. So not just betraying, they went as far as murdering, basically. And today we do the same thing. You see on the news where people are killing each other for not being loyal or going behind people's backs. It's just something you can compare to it. There's another one. And then Claudius betrays Gertrude in the end by not telling her about the poison cup. Polonius stays loyal to Claudius and thus betrays Hamlet. And then Polonius also convinces Ophelia not to continue her relationship with Hamlet and severs ties with him. Another form of betrayal was when Hamlet betrayed Laertes by killing Polonius. And after he does this, Laertes also betrays Hamlet by remaining loyal to Claudius. The only one that I thought was interesting is Horatio. You would think he'd be one of those main characters in the acts, but the main ones would be obviously Claudius, Gertrude, Polonius. But you don't really see much of Horatio. I mean, you'll see him in the book, but at the end when they say that Horatio remains loyal and loving to Hamlet, that's a really loyal friendship right there, and he never really betrays him. I don't think as much as he did with others. So Horatio even offers to follow Hamlet in death by drinking the remaining poison on there. Is there anything you want to add to it? Anything?
So, to wrap things up, all of us are very familiar with the theme of betrayal. I would say everybody has experienced betrayal somewhere or the other. And how betrayal affects individuals or groups of society today, I can give a personal example when and a lot of people might be able to think about this. I worked for a company for so many years, gave my blood, sweat, and tears to them, devoted my time to them, worked many overnights and things like that, and felt that I was a valued employee. And then when it came time to job cuts, I was just another body, another number when I lived for the company. I think there might be a few people in there that may feel that way. Or as far as they're still working for that company, but they still just don't feel valued. That's a big betrayal that I could see, because a lot of people getting laid off in certain industries, they felt that they were a value and asset to the company, and they feel betrayed. And then when they're also not employed now, it's just an aspect that just really hits harder. It just strikes a nerve. It's just hard to forget, and it's essentially harder to forgive as well. Now, there's also individuals or groups that are very susceptible to betrayal as far as not just encountering it, but also how they react to it. These individuals are individuals that are typically very emotionally sensitive about anything. If there's happy news, they are just super excited. If it's sad news, they're just very, very sad. Whenever a betrayal happens, it really hits them hard. Other individuals are also individuals that are just gullible, just individuals that are just easy to believe anything. very susceptible to manipulation. And the last part is, it would be individuals that just see mankind as all good, incapable of inflicting evil. And it can be some of those aspects, or all those aspects combined, which people that are very susceptible to betrayal. Like I said, I've had a personal experience with it. I'm positive all of you had a personal experience with it somewhere or another. So that's why we chose this theme, betrayal, because as I said in the beginning, it's very familiar to us. It's something that you just really can't forget.
And you'll see that a lot in Shakespeare's stories, and I'm not saying every story will have a betrayal, but you'll see some form of plot, whether it's negative, revenge or betrayal. There's always a plot to it, there's always the climax part to it. And you'll see that, and betrayal, you'll see that in any relationships, work, home, family, and any time. It's not just one, it's just the way how you take it as who you thought did more betrayal in the whole book, as a whole book. I mean, you can take it as whether Hamlet did most of the betrayal, or Polonius or Claudius. Most think that Claudius did it, but I think equally it was Prince Hamlet too as well. So,
And we saw,
go ahead.
and we saw how betrayal, just one act of betrayal, led to another, led to another. It was all a domino effect. And we saw what happens to the characters at the end of this play, and sometimes even during the middle of the play. And the same thing happens in society today.
And then she's going to show you, just going to scroll in there, Prince Hamlet. This is just one of the plays or the actors that we created the Facebook posting on. So you'll see how, obviously you have the about section where, where he went to Denmark, University of Denmark, or he's doing philosophy. And his friends, and she'll click on the friends section, you'll see the friends on there, everybody on there. Yeah, 200 on there. So there's Rosencrantz. Each one has one specifically, and we'll click through each of them just so you can get a glimpse of it. But we'll show you Prince Hamlet. She'll just look around there at his post. You'll see the reactions. We did some of them where they either like it or they do those little, I guess, smiley faces, whatever you want to call it. And then the comments. We try to do it where it's modern language, but also the book, but we wanted to where you can understand it both ways. So you'll see where we actually quoted from the book and then modern day language. And I think there's one post we put on there where, what was it, where I said, I'm sorry that I killed, Prince Hamlet killed her dad. I said, I'm so sorry that was an accident. So, and in that book, they don't say it like that language. So we just put on there, I'm so sorry. I thought that was my stepdad.
Now we just have to hope there's no Facebook police or something like that, saying somebody just confessed to
You can click
murder
on your
on
Gertrude if you
Facebook.
want to, show them your Gertrude. See, we did it where she got married or she got widowed, and then there's one we posted with Ophelia. So, and I know on here you have to make sure that you have like a legendary account, whatever it's called, where Ophelia dies on there. We all commented on there saying, oh, we're sorry, and, oh, there it is. And it's a complicated, that's the one that I like, just because you can actually put any kind of relationship. Now, modern day, you can put anything on there, so it was a perfect thing to do it on there. It's complicated.
Are there any questions? Thank you.